The Firestone Oath. In the far eastern highlands, where the mountains curved like frozen waves of grey stone, a small village lay tucked between pine and ash. Few maps marked it, and fewer still knew the road to reach it, save the wind, the foxes, and the last of the ancient guardians. It was a quiet place, veiled in mist and memory. The last guardian was an old man. His hair had turned silver before its time, and his left arm bore the burn scars of fire once breathed by a beast the world had forgotten. Each morning, he walked the edge of the forest trail and lit the lantern upon the stone post, though no travelers had passed that way in a dozen winters. Each night, he spoke the old names into the wind before sealing the scroll vault beneath his hearth. No one asked why. Few remembered what the dragons once were, not the winged terrors told of in songs from the west, but creatures bound in ancient covenants, keepers of memory and flame buried deep within stone. Their age had waned with the breaking of the last firestones, relics of foresight once entrusted to humankind. All but one had been lost, and the last was hidden here, in the village, guarded not by swords or spells, but by silence and duty. When the riders came from the southern kingdom, bearing gold-crested helms and the king's own seal, the old man did not greet them. He stood in the shadows of the trees, listening. The wind carried the scent of iron and oil, not pine. Their words were sharp. Proclamations of royal commission, demands of retrieval, the authority of the crown over forgotten relics of wild faith. They did not ask. They ordered. At twilight, the elders gathered in the circular hall beneath the ancient oaken beam. Few were younger than the old man. All looked to him. "You've seen what lies beneath," said one, a weaver whose eyes had grown milky but whose voice remained strong. "You bear the mark." The old man said nothing for a long while. "There are no dragons left to defend it," another whispered. "They say the last great winged one fell in the western peaks a decade past." But the old man shook his head. "Even so," he said, "we swore to guard it, not for them but for the world. When the last stone is broken, prophecy ends. Choice ends. All that remains is the will of kings." He rose before dawn and went alone to the vault carved into the cliffside. It had been hidden by time and craft. He whispered the three names of fire, and the stone door groaned open. Inside, on a pedestal of black glass, rested the final firestone, its glow faint, but still pulsing, as if remembering. He thought of the dragons, not the monstrous legends, but the one he had seen as a boy, wounded, blind in one eye, ancient. It had not spoken in words, but left behind a memory. He remembered the warmth that was not heat, the wisdom that was not thought. He had been 16 then. His father had died in that fire, and the dragon had died soon after. He could still hear its heartbeat, like thunder muffled by snow. Outside, torches flickered. The riders had returned, this time with soldiers. He wrapped the stone in cloth and stepped out into the grey morning. They shouted. They drew their swords. He did not run. He simply spoke a name left to him by the dragon, a gift sealed in memory, and the wind changed. From the cliffs above, something vast stirred. A winged shadow swept over the men, and their torches guttered out, snuffed as if by the breath of the world itself. A cry rose, not of war but of awe and fear. No flame followed, only silence, and the sound of wings beating into the clouds. When the mist lifted, the old man was gone. So too was the firestone. The soldiers searched the hills. They found no trail, no cave, no trace of magic. In time, the crown claimed the village and carved a road through the forest. But nothing grew where the vault had been, and no bird sang where the stone had lain. Some say the dragons are gone. But in deep places, beneath mountain and memory, the old hearts still beat, slow, steady, and watchful. And sometimes, when the wind is just right, a lantern flickers in the trees, lit by a silver-haired man who guards a flame. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and tell us what you thought in the comments. We'll see you next time on FME Fantasy.